Welcome back to a new episode of the 924. First thing got to do is get it on that engine stand there, Harbor Freight Special, and get all this bell housing off, get it on the stand. So exhaust manifold time. It's not as hard as I thought it would be, actually. All you gotta do is cut this cloth, and it's a lot easier because you get a socket on there. It's an 11 mil, by the way. So it is the next day, and here is our motor. The good news is 3 cylinders are in workable shape. The 4th cylinder, not so much. Here we see cylinder 1 through 3. A little oily, but overall decent. I mean, they look like spark plugs. And then we have cylinder 4. This is the one that was pulled out a couple months ago, and yeah, I don't need to explain that.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
So it is a very warm January day, and about -3, and someone messaged me on the VinWiki app wanting to look at the Model T, and they lived locally, so we arranged it, and they wanted to show me their collection. They make me look positively sane.
Alright, I'm Craig Pest, I guess that would be on YouTube, and I own 8 cars. But my family, we have about 27, so I'd like to take you through these.
Yes.
Alright, this one, first one we have is a 1949 Plymouth Special Deluxe convertible. This thing's actually in really good shape. The interior's been all redone. I think we paid about $4,000 delivered for this one.
MagnaFlow?
Yep.
That's good.
Oh yeah, that flew off on the highway once. This one, the piston kind of exploded once. We tried doing 50 miles an hour with this thing. And it exploded at 49 miles an hour. Really sounded bad. I got a video about that.
Looks clean.
Oh yeah, brand new seat covers. New old stock actually from the 50s.
And
It's got a flathead 6 in it, so it's not too fast, but it is a very fun summer driver. It's a 1972 Volkswagen Super Beetle, and we just replaced the cans and the pistons and the I think we did the rods too on this one, and it starts right up now. We just got this thing running yesterday. It runs like a top.
And it's
pretty clean too. I mean,
clean
interior,
shape for a Beetle.
It's a good shape for a $400 Beetle.
Oh yeah,
And it's got a title too.
It's got a floor, so that's good.
Oh yeah, and heater channels.
What is this?
This one right here is my dream car. This is my favorite car I own. This is a 1972 Citroen DS21. And I bought this thing out of Washingtonville, New York for $450. The guy was going to send it to the scrapyard.
I know these cars have complex air suspension.
Oh, not air suspension, hydraulic suspension.
Oh, okay. So what's that?
This is the hydrodynamic accumulator for the left front suspensions here. These are extremely complex vehicles, and I'm almost scared to tackle this, but I want this car.
Okay.
So I'm going to do it.
And the interior, how much did you pay for it?
$450.
For $450, you know, the
It's
gauges are there. That's, you know, that's enough. And you know, the seats aren't completely eaten by mice. That's an improvement. We see body panels. There's a head over there, mirrors, you know, typical.
Yeah.
So here we see the trunk has a weight reduction package, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's good. And it's slammed. It's slammed on the ground.
The suspension has lost all of its pressure. But the good thing is, the fenders.
Here we see something I personally enjoy. I think it's a Clipper.
Yeah, 47 Packard Clipper 6. This one was $500. It's actually It may look horrible on the outside. It may look like a basket case.
It's
but
blue.
Yeah, as you see, the original paint is coming back rather well. There is no rust on this thing. I worked on a 48 Packard long wheelbase. That thing was completely destroyed underneath. All that I could find for rust in here was just a little bit in the crack of the front footwell.
Nothing.
Right there. That's it. This thing is rust free.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I see some Mopar products here.
Oh yeah, there are plenty of Mopar products. This one is a 1964 Plymouth Fury. I think it's a regular Fury. This one's the daily driver car that we use every day, basically. That's why the interior is as it looks. But this thing was completely redone by some old man who just kept crashing it. This one
that's
over
good.
here is a 1967 Plymouth Fury convertible that we pulled out of a field in, I think it was Connecticut.
Okay.
This one had a bad motor when we got it, so we swapped in a 318. I think it's a small, regular 318, not a poly head. So it runs really nicely. I've had this thing up to 90 miles an hour on the New Jersey. This one right here is a 1967 Plymouth Belvedere 2 with a 440 cubic inch V8 with the 4-speed manual. This thing is actually really nice. I think my dad paid like $200, $280 for this thing back in 1988. It was really cheap.
Here we see the work truck doing work truck things. It's
Doing work truck thing.
big block things doing big block things.
Alright, so this one right here is a 1974 MG Midget, and I paid $1,000 for this car. There is virtually no rust. There's just a little bit on the bodywork, but basically this thing is rust-free. It only has like 38,000 miles on it. It's been sitting in a barn since 1977.
Paint
All
feels
original
decent.
paint, except this fender looks like it's been resprayed at one point in time.
It has.
So that's basically it. But this is a daily driver car for me. You know, it's got 38,000 miles on it. This thing is so much fun.
Now we have this thing.
Is a 2001 Pontiac Aztek with the Versatrack all-wheel drive system. I paid $500 for this car because I didn't want to see it go to the junkyard. It's got the, I think it's a 3400 V6. I use this car daily. I go all over the place with
Good
this
motor.
pick things up, yeah. It had a head gasket issue apparently when I got it, but what seemed to have happened, I just put, there was a bubble in the coolant system. And that was basically all it was.
Okay.
Because the guy changed the coolant, he didn't bleed it properly.
Alright.
So there was no head gasket issue with this.
Then one of my favorites. This.
1972 Mercedes-Benz 220D has the 2.2 liter diesel 4-cylinder, and this car. Oh yeah, so those are.
It's fine. It's a speed hole. It's weight reduction.
It's speed holes and special grab handles for when you need to push it. This thing is beautiful.
Okay.
This thing is beautiful inside. I did run this thing out of gas once, or diesel.
It
and
runs.
because of
Interior.
the 4-speed manual that it has, I was able to push start it to bleed it instead of
that's
wasting the battery. 'cause
excellent.
The battery had already gone dead.
Starting here, we have some quintessential gems, and
So,
but
this one here, 1962 Willys utility wagon. It has a GM straight 6 in it because apparently I think the F head originally destroyed itself, as they like to do. We use this thing quite a bit around the yard
fine.
here. I actually
speed
taught my
holes in the
coworker-
floor. It's fine.
I actually taught my coworker how to drive stick shift in this thing.
So then there's this piece.
This incredibly cheap 1985 Chrysler LeBaron, I think this one is. You know, this is my mother's summer car. It's actually really nice. I think we paid like $1,100 for this thing.
Does it talk?
I don't think it talks anymore. I think it may have talked at one point in time, but I don't think it does anymore.
Interior is honestly nice.
Oh yeah, it's just the front seat.
That's a little torn up. It's
Yeah,
40 years old.
This was a Florida car originally. The previous owner was being deported, so he had to get rid of this thing.
So we have two here.
This one was my first car here.
Get some Morris.
It's a Morris Minor, 1959. This one had severe rust issues when I got it. Both chassis legs ripped out at the torsion bar mounts. Everything went wrong with it. I fixed this thing up, and then the brakes blew on me when I was driving it, so I decided to park it, and it's been sitting here for a couple months.
And there's this international, looks like a Scout.
It's a Scout. I think it's a 1980 Scout.
So it's got a plow.
Yes, that's its most notable feature is being a plow truck.
And it's got the plow truck special, you know.
Yep.
Rocker panel delete package.
Believe it
The
or
usual.
not,
It is a stick though.
it is a stick, and believe it or
Those
not,
look good.
this thing was perfectly restored when we got it.
When was that?
2013. So
Okay.
sitting outside for 10 years under trees that like to leak sap don't do
It doesn't help.
No.
Here we see a GMC Jimmy.
Yep.
It's a GMC Jimmy.
78
So-
Dodge Maxi wagon,
Okay.
360 cubic inch V8. We use this car all the time to transport people. I think it's like an 18 passenger van.
Yep, this is a church van.
Yep.
And this guy, which is, I'm more interested in this good old
89
square body.
GMC Suburban. Really neat.
Oh yeah, it's
Um,
clean.
It's clean. I think you paid $1,200 for this. It's got, what is it? I think it's the 6. This is my 1940 Plymouth Deluxe 4-door sedan that I have named the Moldy Meatloaf because I got a hate comment on one of my videos saying it looked like a meatloaf. I've taken the name. I really like it. This thing, it may look awful, but
Are
it's
those
really
60s Kraigers?
Yes.
Okay, there's your money back.
Yeah, anything. If I sold any part of this car, I can get my money back. Yeah, it's a down and
There you go. And those seats, they actually look decent, and it looks 60s Mopar to me. You can just grab a bench seat at any free work car at the junkyard, you're good enough.
Yeah.
But it doesn't got floors. All right.
Yes.
We
It's
got
in the back. It's in the back.
floor panel delete.
No,
Oh, we got floors over there.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
There's no
good
rust.
then. Roof's all there. I mean, could be worse.
It could be way worse.
Here we see a large continuum of scrap metal.
Minivan.
That thing,
I like this thing. It's a 94 Voyager.
beetle hood.
Beetle hood. It's actually more minor parts there too, and a Renault. And behind the van, we got my car that was cut in half. I wouldn't walk back that way if I were you, but yeah. So that's a '66 NSU, cut in half. Don't know why it was. I bought it because I didn't want to see it go to the junkyard. I might make an ATV or something out of it.
What do we have here?
It's a '72 Dodge Sportsman motorhome. I took the motor out of this somehow. Don't ask me how I did it. I have no clue. The space to take the motor out is like 2 feet. I had to change a valve in it, but other than that, it runs, but something's with the transmission is wrong, so it's full throttle, will do 10 miles an hour.
This looks, I dare say, normal.
Yeah, this one, because it is normal, I have to get rid of it.
Ah,
It's a 2003 Volkswagen Golf I picked up for free.
proper transmission.
5-speed manual. Apparently it has a snap timing belt, but I don't know. I'm thinking of getting rid of this one, which after I fix the timing belt.
And there is a car. You know, if I had money and garage space, I want this.
Here is a 1976 Lincoln Continental Town Car. I paid $250 for this thing because I did not want to see it go to the scrapyard. It's got a 460 cubic inch V8, full velour interior, pillows literally sewn to the seats, yet it's not as comfortable as the Citroen, surprisingly. The motor runs, it doesn't have an exhaust system, so it's really loud,
Yeah.
but the starter decided to destroy itself, so I have to get a new starter for it. But it runs.
This is in incredible shape.
Yeah.
Everything's here.
Everything.
This is really
I mean, somebody disconnected the air conditioning pump, which would be a bit...
probably the bad compressor.
Probably.
But shit, this motor's worth more than $250. Like way more than that alone. Hey, so a quick update. I was going to be saying I'm parting out the 924 because it does not make financial sense. For the price it's going to cost me to get that where I want it to be, you're looking at the price of a nice, really nice 924S or a decent running 944. And that's a 4-speed car with the slower motor, and honestly, I don't think it's worth that much. And it's not the car I really want on top of that. Like I said, I was going to part it out. But Craig Best wanted it. So he offered me in trade that Golf. And I took it. Because, well, it's a Golf. I can use it. So, the story behind the Golf is apparently it has a snap timing chains. So, either A, timing belt. So either A, the belt is bad, or B, the engine is bad. It's 99% the engine is bad. So in the meantime, I have to reassemble the car, get it into rolling shell status, and then once that's done, we will cut into the future where, you know, we're trading cars.
Take pictures of stuff.
Yeah,
Alright, well,
that would have made a good video.
here she goes.
No, he's filming it.
It's on. It's on.
He's filming it.
Alright, here she goes. It's a bit of a struggle. There she is.
too bad.
That was actually better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, well, that's
The power still down the count. I have.
Alright, so the car is now out of my hands, and is currently in Craig Best's hands. And I hope he enjoys it. From what I can tell, he's already torn into the head, so he's doing pretty good. Go check